The Yanks, the Red Sox, but clearly heading in different directions this year. Talk to me about how big the gap is between those two franchises.
Well, I think it's pretty big right now, Molly, but you have to understand at a macro level, the Yankees are in desperate need to get back into the championship run. It's been 20 years. They've won one championship in 2009. And the Red Sox, they've won 4 over the last 15. So at a macro level, the Red Sox are winning in a big way. Hal Steinbrenner came out and said this winter, it is time to get back to the championship way. He invested big into Gerrit Cole, and let's see if it pays dividends. But I think the Yankees right now have the advantage, but they have to stay healthy.
Yeah, let's talk about Gerrit Cole and that move, Alex. For years, it seemed, Cashman was being worked. Cashman's an excellent GM, but he simply hasn't been as good as the Red Sox, which is inexcusable in their own division. And the primary issue has been he's refused to spend top dollar either in treasure or prospects to bring in a hammer on the top of the rotation. Are you saying that that was Steinbrenner's influence forcing his hand there to get Gerrit Cole?
Well, there's no question. Look, when you spend that type of money, it only comes from the big man, and that's the general partner, Hal Steinbrenner, a George Steinbrenner type move. The last time Hal Steinbrenner flexed his muscles or his wallet was pre-2009, where he brought in CeCe Sabathia, A.J. Burnett, and Mark Teixeira and spent almost $500 million, and it paid off in a big way. They hope to get similar results right here in 2020.
How worried are you about this future of the sport that you love so much?
Look, 200 years from now, I'm incredibly bullish, and I think it'll be incredibly profitable. Short term, we have some challenges. But if last night does not tell you what Major League Baseball needs, I had a couple players, couple owners. I had an agent text me this morning and say, hey, did you see mic'd up Anthony Rizzo? He was unbelievable. The game is screaming. Look, we've had, as an industry, we've been in a straitjacket for the last 2 decades. Major League Baseball was #1 in the 60s and 70s. With that straitjacket, we've given an opportunity to the NFL and NBA to run right by us. It's time for Major League Baseball and the union to get together on this and open up the floodgates. You have the greatest game in the world. Let's hear from them. And the most fun part of Major League Baseball, you know what it is? Is the 60 batting cages. They hide it from us. We can't even see it. So the best part of the game, they don't let us see. And the best part of the game, they don't let us hear it. So I think we're at a disadvantage. It is time for Major League Baseball to get on their horse and stop playing, what do you call it? What do you call in defense? Not just start playing offense and start being aggressive. Prevent defense. And there you go. Prevent defense, which prevents you from winning.
Alex, when you turned pro, 36 home runs as a rookie, you hit 352 or 356, I'm forgetting. I'm sure you remember. Bunch of stolen bases at shortstop, 20 years old. That guy could wind up being the greatest player ever. You wound up one of the all-time greats. Griffey was on your team, same sort of thing. You both wound up way up high on the all-time lists. But Mike Trout has played 8 years. He has 3 MVPs, 4 second-place finishes, probably all of them should have also been first place, and a 4th-place finish when he got hurt, or else he would have won. This is the greatest beginning to a career, 8 years now, of all time. He's still in his 20s. At a certain point, we just say he's the greatest of all time, or must he make the postseason and do something there to truly be in that conversation?
Well, I certainly think he's done the conversation. I think with 8 years, I like to see him play 15, 16 years and see how he compares to the Griffeys and the Willie Mays. There's no doubt about it that for the first 8 years, he's best in class and he's right up there. He's certainly in the conversation of the best 3, no matter who you're talking to. But baseball is a game of longevity, and you got to let things lie. And it takes probably another 8 or 9 years for him to be, in my opinion, one of the all-time greatest, if not the greatest.
Does he need to make the postseason and hit in the postseason for you?
In the big moments, you need that moment in the World Series. You need that moment in the postseason. But look, you're looking at Barry Bonds, probably the greatest player of all time, and never won the World Championship, but had some huge moments. Max, to your point, you like to see Mike Trout have some big moments in the postseason. So, yes.
Yeah, Alex, I'd be remiss in neglecting to ask you about the Houston Astros and what's transpired. You've overcome a lot in your career, obviously, and you've been very honest and forthcoming about it. We appreciate that. I want to know your thoughts about the Houston Astros in light of the controversy that they found themselves in, the repercussions that you expect them to have to endure this upcoming season for what they ended up doing, for what they did and what they were punished for.
Yeah, Stephen A., the whole situation is a sad situation. It's been handled poorly. It's been kind of a one-of-a-kind situation because this was a surprise to everybody. But what I will say is that you have to just apologize and go away and focus on playing baseball. The only way people are going to move on is if you have some silence and you give this thing some space and focus on playing baseball. But this will not go away after 1 year. It's coming from a guy that screwed up on the biggest, stage and in the biggest way. I served my suspension. I said I'm sorry, and I got back to playing baseball. I would love to see the Astros do that and show some remorse. And if there's no remorse, just be quiet.
But, Alex, do you think they deserve silence? I think that's the big question here. Do they deserve silence, or because the players were granted immunity, do they deserve the vitriol from their contemporaries in Major League Baseball?
No, whatever people want to say, that's fine. I'm talking about from the Astros' point of view. If I was in that clubhouse, I said, guys, let's shut it down. Let's focus on baseball. We made a mistake. Let's own it. We're lucky we did not get a suspension. We're lucky we still have a championship trophy. And we're lucky we got away with what we did. Now let's focus on playing baseball. Let's say I'm sorry, and let's not talk about it anymore. We have to take the shots because we've put ourselves in that position. Let people take their anger out. Let them eat, and then you go away. There's no answers.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.